Hey everyone, this is James Hucks from Hucks Law Firm, and I wanted to talk with you all about a blog I did last week on the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, otherwise known as the CARES Act. And I'm going to call it the CARES Act throughout this video because the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act is kind of a mouthful, and I don't want to say that every time I need to mention it in the video. And then CARES Act is going to be a lot easier for people to remember too. So just remember CARES Act. Probably the biggest thing that people heard about in the CARES Act is the stimulus check portion of it. That was the $1,200 check that every American was supposed to get. People were posting on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook about it, and they were wondering, how much am I really going to get? Is $1,200 going to be enough? Is my income going to affect how much I'm going to get? When am I going to get it? And I did a pretty good job of answering those questions in my recent blog, so make sure you check out the blog for those answers. The main reason I wanted to talk with you all today was to encourage you to reapply for unemployment benefits if you were denied benefits within the last 30 days or so. And this is because the CARES Act does a lot to change unemployment benefits generally across the nation. So usually in Ohio, you wouldn't be eligible for unemployment benefits if you didn't meet two requirements. The first requirement is that you have to be working 20 weeks within this benefit period that the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services comes up with. If you're not working 20 weeks within that period, you might not be eligible for unemployment benefits. So that takes out a lot of people, includes people who were returning back to work after maybe caring for children, or people who may have just entered the workforce for the first time, so people who may be college students who just graduated, or maybe people who just kind of, for whatever reason, are re-entering the workforce. And then the other requirement was that you had to make an average of at least $269 a week during that 20-week period. So even if you met the 20-week period, you still had to make an average of at least $269 a week. So that takes out a lot of part-time employees. And then there's always independent contractors who are not eligible because they're not considered employees. What the CARES Act does is that it makes all those people eligible for unemployment benefits. So when you may have been denied unemployment benefits a couple weeks ago when you applied for them, now you should be eligible for unemployment benefits under the CARES Act. So you would need to reapply to make sure that you do that. The other thing that the CARES Act did is that it expanded the length of time for unemployment benefits. Under Ohio law, unemployment benefits are usually 26 weeks. Under the CARES Act, it's 39 weeks, so you get an extension of time. So even if you've exhausted your unemployment benefits under Ohio law, you would still be eligible for another 13 weeks under the CARES Act. So that's something to keep in mind as well. The last thing that the CARES Act does for unemployment benefits is that it increases the amount that's available to receive. So on top of whatever benefits amount that the state of Ohio would say that you're eligible to receive, you get an additional $600 for that. Now, some people have said, well, that's too much money, but at this point, there's probably a lot of people who maybe even had cars repoed or had a lot of other financial difficulties besides just not getting a paycheck at this point. So I think the $600 is about right to help remedy some of those situations. That's all the updates I have for you guys today on the coronavirus pandemic and the CARES Act and unemployment in Ohio. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. And if I don't know, I'll look into it and we'll work it out together. This is a brand new situation. A lot of people don't really know what to do with a lot of the situation because it's all a first impression type of thing. But we'll all work through it together, and I'm here for you guys. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have. Thank you, and stay healthy and stay safe.